Hey, welcome back to the channel. We're in the garage today. We're doing the rear wheel. I've looked online. I don't see anyone that's actually taken off a rear wheel on the Softail line. I've found two guys that I follow that have done it. However, they're not actually taking it off. They did it previously, and then they're just telling you what they did and how they did it. So we're going to go through taking the rear tire off. I am swapping the tire up, but I'm taking it to a local shop. They're going to exchange it. They can't do it today. They'll get to it tomorrow. So if I happen to have an adult beverage, just know that I'm not driving there today. I'm actually doing it tomorrow. Anyways, let's get into it. Oh, and the other thing is I actually ordered the actual service manual for the Softail lineup. I couldn't find where to get an actual book, but I do have a digital copy of it. So this here will work for any Softail 18 and up. There's only slight differences for the FXDRS, which I believe is the breakout. If not, forgive me. But yeah, so it should be exactly the same. There's just a couple of components because of a license plate holder, and there's something different with the rear axle on the breakout, so I don't know exactly what it is. But anyways, let's get into it. So the first few things that I'll do that I won't bore you with, remove the main fuse. I'm going to take the saddlebags off, which not everyone has that. Measure wheel alignment, which that's something I will show you. Remove belt guards, and then see, that's where the breakout is a little different, is the light bracket, which we're not going to worry about. Now the muffler you don't actually have to remove, however I'm going to, because I wouldn't be able to torque the axle nut down properly without doing that. So I will take the muffler off. So I'm going to do the first few things. I'm going to show you how I'm going to measure the wheel alignment. They do show making a tool, but it's with welding cable, which I don't have, so I'm just going to measure it my way. So I'll start off with that. Now this is probably overkill, but what I've used is a micrometer, and you're supposed to measure from this flat part here to the center of the axle, and there, like I said, there's a tool that they tell you to make, but I'm using this to actually get the measure right. So that's my measurement there, an inch, 1.7 inches basically. And now I'll do the same on this side. Make sure you document it so you know exactly the size that you're working with. So you can actually put it back on, so because this will have an effect on your belt as well as your tire when it's back on. So let me measure the other one, and then I'll take off the belt guards. So to remove the belt guards, it's just these two screws here for the upper, and the lower one is this one, and the one over here. So just use your torque spit and remove them both. Now we go ahead and remove the rear brake caliper. It's just these two bolts, and pull it out. Now we can go ahead and remove the E or C, whatever clip. Make sure you don't lose that. That's a big bugger. Now we're just going to loosen the rear axle nut. Now you go ahead and loosen the brake nut adjusters. Now you fully remove the axle nut. Got to put a wrench on the other side. That would help. At this point, it is probably a good idea. I do have the service manual, like I said, but if you're not following the service manual, you might want to take a moment to make sure you know where everything's going here. This is the brake caliper bracket. I believe this is the speed sensor. There was a washer and the nut on this side, and then on this side there's the pulley, obviously, and then off a big spacer on this side. So if you don't have the manual, make sure you follow along or take pictures to know where everything is. Now we can just pull that right through. I think we'll need a little persuasion here. Probably should loosen these just a tad more here, just so I have more room to maneuver. Make sure you hold on to the brake caliper bracket here so it doesn't fall down. I'm just going to lift the bike up a little bit. Make sure it's supported a little better. There's the axle. There's the speed sensor. The spacer, I don't know if it matters. Someone mentioned this in another forum where it has the these lines on it. They were in towards the wheel. Not sure if it makes a difference, but in case you're wondering. Now remove the belt. The spacer from the other side. Sorry, I wish my kid was here so I'd be able to get them to film on the other side to show you what I'm doing. But basically all I'm doing is removing the belt. Eventually. There. And this will only come back so far because I think the bracket out here. Oh, it's got a kind of got to come out together. There's the caliper bracket. And I'm just going to lift the bike more because that's not going to come out there. I guess I could work it out that way, but just to be on the safe side. And there. So there's taking the rear wheel off on 18 plus Softail. I am going to be bringing it in to get the tire replaced. There's your 6 bolts to take off the flywheel. I'm actually leaving the rotor on because the mechanic there wants to see it. Like I said, the ones at Harley said the brake rotor's bluing. He doesn't believe it is, so he wants to have a look at it. So let's do those 5 screws, take those off, and then I'll bring this tomorrow and put it on tomorrow. So we'll pick it up, like I said, tomorrow. And we're back. New rubber put on. Looks a lot better than the last one. I did already put the pulley back on. Figured I didn't need to show you guys that. There is a tightening sequence for this. You have to tighten it to 60 foot-pounds of torque first, and then back them off half a turn, and then tighten them to the final spec, which is 77 to 83 foot-pounds. So I've done all that on here. I didn't want to bore you with that. But yeah, now let's get it onto the bike. Now the very first thing they tell you to do is just put a little bit of anti-seize on here. Which I guess not very much, but you do need a little bit. So let's put that on first. I don't even know if that's a lot. Should use gloves. I don't know why I can't get into using gloves. Really need to start using gloves. Oh well. Last time it all washed off. That's probably too much. I'll take a little bit of that off. It's one of those things it's good to have it, but you probably don't want that much. So I'm going to take a little bit of that off. It also says to put it in the bores. Oops. Let's put that over there. To actually put it in the bores of the wheel as well as the spacer here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some in there as well. Good thing I had it all over my fingers. If you're wondering, anti-seize comes off pretty easily, but just wear your gloves, guys. Come on. We're going to get the tire underneath first. Actually, it would be easier to go through this side. I guess it'd be easier if just lifted the bike even higher, but whatever. Got to do things hard. When you're putting this, I'll see if I could show it. When you're putting it through, just make sure you have the caliper bracket in where it's where it belongs, just because it'll be hard to get it in after. So there is a big long lip on this side, and then it has to fit in the rotor, which again it will align later on once you get it fully on, but you got to make sure you put it all back the way it came off. Belt on that side. You want to make sure it's relatively close to the hole, so it's a lot easier, especially if you don't have someone helping you. That should probably be just about right. So on this side, let's make sure it's the axle and then your spacer. Spacer in.
Good news, my whole afternoon just freed up.
Oh yeah?
Got a meeting moved to Monday because I asked. So Let me know when you're ready.
Well, let's go
You
now.
can just fix that if you want. Like,
Well, we only have until 1:45, so I have to drop that off for her.
oh, okay.
So the axle and spacer start working its way through until you get to this side here. Now this is where two hands would be better, but I don't do anything like that. So and then on this side it goes the vehicle speed sensor that goes through first. Then it's the bracket for the brake caliper. And then it's the spacer, and like I said, taking it out, the rings actually go towards the bike, not the other way. Again, I don't know if it makes a difference, but that's the way it came out. That's the way I'm going to put it back in. Just a little persuasion. Then it's the washer and nut. This here you want to just do it hand tightened to begin with. I'll do it until the other side starts turning. There we go. And now we'll do the adjustment screws. Remember, you've taken the measurements from before and you want to do it back to where it was. Now there is a process in the service manual to actually, or the shop manual rather, for you actually to do this when you don't actually have the actual measurements. But because we've already taken them, you don't need to do that. And you're supposed to be a licensed Harley technician to do that anyways, but they do have the instructions in the manual. So let's go ahead and get this to where it was before we put the rest of the stuff on. So one of the things you don't want to do, what I did, is I put the I just threw the vehicle speed sensor on randomly. It can't be like this because it's going to be in the way of the rotor. So this part where it connects actually has to be on the bottom of it. So I'm going to have to punch it out and put it back together so it's on the other side. So just route it down. That way you get proper clearance. And it's away from moving parts. There. Now you can put the nut on. So yeah, you just want to make sure the the cable is routed properly, so it's not going to be in the way of any moving parts. So again, let's put this on finger tight. Now we make the adjustment back to your measurements that you've taken before on the right side and the left side, and before we tighten down the lug nut. So let's go ahead and do that now. And once you have them adjusted the way you are, you tighten up the lug nut. Now the lug nut needs to be torqued, and let me just get the specifications for those. So the axle nut, not the breakout, is 95 to 105. The breakout is 110 to 120. So we're between 95 and 105. So let's torque that now. So there, and it's done. All you have to do is put the brake caliper on. Again, the torque specifications, just throw them on there. Put the exhaust back on, as well as the belt guards on this side, and you're done. I'm not going to bore you with that kind of stuff because that's a whole nother ball game. But that's it. That's changing the tire on a 2018 Plus Softail. It's actually not that bad, especially when you have the shop manual. And I should add that if you're like me and you aren't 100% sure of your workmanship, you should also have a look when you're riding the bike, just to make sure your belt is staying where it's supposed to and it's not moving around, just for a little while, just to make sure you've aligned it properly. If it is moving, you're going to have to actually check your alignment, and in the shop manual it shows you how to actually do that, or bring it to a licensed Harley technician. But anyways, until next time, later.